All right, ladies and gentlemen, good Monday morning. Welcome aboard our full throttle training. Some of you, our current members, are probably sitting there going, Whiz is wearing a collared shirt. That's weird. Here's what we need to, here's what I need to do. This one's going to be brief. This is going to be a welcome aboard. I got to jump off at 10:45, throw a sport coat on, and do a Fox News hit. So usually the welcome aboard is about an hour and 15. It's going to be 45 minutes today. The rest of the week, obviously, we'll do our normal time schedules, but Fox couldn't move their required hit time. So welcome to the world of stuff. Go Birds! Always a nail biter with the Birds, man. How about the Ole Miss Georgia game? So and it's so funny, right? The liberal media. 7 million Americans protested no kings. I'm like, 8 million Americans watched Ole Miss Georgia. So aging liberal white boomers getting some exercise, I fully support as long as somebody fed their cats. So, all right, let's get going. Ray, thank you for allowing me to see your trade room for free. Awesome. So Ray, to Ray's point, nobody does this, folks. Everybody else, and I go to these other, hey, can you come speak at our whatever multi-speaker event? I'm like, sure. You have 40 minutes from noon to 12:40. I'm like, if somebody joins because of what I said in 40 minutes, they're an idiot. That's why I do an entire week, ladies and gentlemen. So everybody else is going to give you death by PowerPoint slides, show you cherry pick trades from years ago, and then say, hey, join. I don't. I say, come to our regular week of live trading. You're in a room full of, Solo Amazon has 680 members, right? So you're in a regular member brief, and I'm going to kind of treat you a little bit as a regular member after today, because I'm going to do a quick welcome aboard. We're going to talk some options basics, and then we're going to get airborne, right? So that's what we're doing this morning. Tomorrow at 10, we're going to do a bullish on America trade. We have a Fed meeting. The Fed is cutting rates again. They probably shouldn't be. Inflation is up here north of 3. The jobs market sucks. Well, the jobs market has sucked since Joe Biden. But the BLS, Biden labor statistics, instead of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, was lying about the jobs numbers. But as soon as Trump took over, 1 million of them disappeared in one report. Okay. But ladies and gentlemen, as you're going to learn this week, the stock market is not the economy, right? The stock market and the economy aren't even, matter of fact, the worse the economy is, brace yourself. If you don't understand this, you'll learn it this week. The worse the economy gets, the better the stock market could do. What? You heard me. And breaking news, years ago, we were taking 50 full throttle members every quarter. Then I started throttling that back to 25. We're only taking 15 this week, and I'll show you why. We're going to get up to 300 hunters, and we're close. So no more 25 full throttles. I'm going to start throttling that back. We like a nice, tight-knit squadron here. I don't want a zoo. Hey, for $10 a month, you can join our live trade rooms. No, thank you. I don't like the unwashed masses. We take serious people here. Okay. All right, so that's Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm going to blow you away, man. The only sector I'm bullish on, except AI, right, is psychedelics. We're going to talk about saving and changing lives and making money. People are posting about MindMed. Take a look at MindMed, MNMD. You bought it a couple months ago at $1 or whatever. It's at $14. You're welcome. I better be in your will. Yeah, we will talk about the AI bubble, and it is a bubble, and all bubbles pop. It is physically impossible to make the numbers that all these AI people are spouting on CNBC, right? My prediction with AI, there'll be about 5 to 10 trillionaires in the world. The rest of us will be out of a job, and then we're all going to get killed by it. So there you go. It's going to pop. It's going to be spectacular. But you trade the market you have, not the one you want. Trust me, I don't want a bubble to pop because people who aren't talking options members are going to get wiped out. I don't want an AI bubble to succeed because I don't want millions of people to lose their jobs, and they're going to. One of the Fed lieutenants said that last week. I'm going to show you what he said. He's like, oh, yeah, AI, it's going to destroy jobs at first. It might sometime in the future optimize things perfectly and everybody's happy, but no. People are going to get wiped out with jobs. I'm like, my God, that's a Fed lieutenant. And you've even heard the tech CEOs who lied to you for the past couple of years, like, it's going to be great. Now they're starting to actually admit, like, well, we might see some disruptions, but those are all good things. For who? Do you want to buy another 600-foot yacht? My God, Amazon's not going to have a human in it eventually, and that's going to be bad. So that's Full Throttle. Those days. If we have any memberships left, if I don't get a full 15, we're only taking annual, I might open a couple monthlies on Wednesday, right? That's how you keep kicking the tires. Like, even though I got 3 days of trading, I still want to see more. Well, you're going to have to pay for it. Then we're done. On Thursday, I'm going to do what I call solo Amazon. It's the only stock. It's our gateway drug. It's our entry level service, $97 a month. That's a crappy bottle of wine. I don't drink anymore. Thank God, psychedelics. And that's a crappy bottle of wine. So if you're not ready for Full Throttle Thursday, make sure you check it out. It's $97 a month, and that you can kick the tires. Okay. Whiz, I got to go. I'm going to miss tomorrow. Yada, yada, yada. I get it. People have schedules. Well, here's the replay page. Okay. All of the replays will be posted on this page 20, 30 minutes after the brief. That's about how long it takes for me to render the recording. Obviously, this is the replay page from the last time I did this. And you can see, look, the last day is on here actually still. You can watch it if you want, but what's it say? Buy psychedelics, a Thai 2x1, and MindMed synthetic stock. Oh, okay. Well, how did those turn out, Wiz? Well, MindMed is up 104% or $2,800. Where's my Thai? 78%, $2,800. So there's $5,000 in profits from the last Full Throttle just from that brief. You're welcome. That's 2 years of your Full Throttle membership. You're also welcome. Okay, so there is the replay page in case you got to leave or you can't stay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a quick intro of who I am. We have a ton of new people checking in today. I looked at all the metrics last night. I'm like, wow, this is a big one. And not to denigrate you, but it's not usually. I've been doing this Top Gun options for 15 years. It's when what happens that we start getting packed. Oh boy. Implosion, no. Rally, no. Another day of implosion. Rally, oh, so volatility is back. A week and a half ago, I was out in Aspen doing a fundraiser for our foundation. Donald Trump, China. Yeah, we're in a trade war. What? Boom, market slammed. Oh, it's over with. And then a day or two later, Trump. Nah, Xi's not that bad. Oh, great. China. No, we are that bad. Oh, no. So we are way over our ski tips up here, folks, and volatility is returning. And I'm going to show you how you can profit as others panic. I love volatility. I love blood in the markets. Don't love blood in the streets. I love blood in the markets. Who am I? Whiz. You can call me Whiz. My parents didn't call me that. They obviously called me Edward Matthew Buckley. I earned that call sign flying the F-18 Hornet for the United States Navy for 15 years. Graduated from Top Gun as an adversary pilot. I deployed on the Abraham Lincoln and the Kitty Hawk. Man, I was going to say I shaved with the Kitty Hawk this morning, but I didn't. Man, that thing's gone. That's how old I am. I was on the Kitty Hawk. Operation Southern Watch, Noble, Eagle, and Enduring Freedom. What's that have to do with trading? Everything. You don't join the Navy to get rich, man. You join the Navy to see the world and deliver justice to bad guys. But I taught myself how to trade stocks and options when I was on active duty, man. And it worked incredibly well. Why? Because trading is a form of combat. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to get their ass handed to them. Which side do you want to be on? So I use the same methodologies, procedures that I use flying a fighter aircraft to my trading. having a strategy, implementing tactics to support said strategy. If you don't join this week, you're a fool. If you go someplace else and the guy or the gal's like, let me show you my favorite option strategy, run. If they don't know the difference between a strategy and a tactic, they're an idiot. And strategy, talking about finances, saving for college, saving for retirement, buying a boat in 6 months, making an addition to my house. Tactics support strategies. How about managing risk? Wait, this guy was a Navy fighter pilot and he's going to tell me about managing risk? Yeah, man. I love myself too much for anything bad to happen to me, and I don't want to fail, and I don't want to get shot down and tortured. I want to win, so I want to minimize all known risks. Same thing in trading, right? You can't make money if you're losing money. Now, that might sound like some blinding genius or stupidity, but it's absolutely genius. I'm going to teach you this week that the first thing we look at before we place any trade is how much can I lose? Wait, I want to make money. No. If you're losing money, you're not making money, right? If you woke up today and said, man, I can't wait to go to full throttle, you're awesome. If you woke up today and said, I can't wait to go to full throttle because I need to make money, you're awful. Folks, if you're looking or listening to me right now, you're on a computer, which means you might have a roof. You probably have a roof over your head. Folks, do you know how blessed you are? Right? Want comes from lack. You don't lack anything, man. If you got a roof over your head, a loved one, even if it's a pet, you got running water, you're an internet, a computer, something in a brokerage account, you are doing better than 95% of the people on this planet. Need, I want, comes from a place of lack. What did I do this morning? I got up, I took my microdoses, I meditated, I went to yoga, I rushed home, got a shower, of course, and now I'm with you. I'm centered. I need to make money. I want to make money. The universe will never reward that. Let it come from a place of gratitude. Man, I am so grateful for the opportunity to be at Top Gun Options today. Man, I am breathing. The sun is shining. Let's go. The universe responds to that. So what happened, man? I left active duty, very short airline career. The morning of September 11th was my first and last day at work at American Airlines. We can talk about that some other time. But I popped up on the radar of one of the largest volatility options trading firms in Chicago. Everybody know that building, the CBOT, Chicago Board of Trade, man. See those big, beautiful windows? That was my trading firm. I helped build a hedge fund when I was there. I helped build a retail brokerage some of you might have traded with back in the day called Options House. I built my own media company. We were the CNBC for options. We were the option. Look at that guy. Look at that young kid, man. The Options News Network, ONN.TV. We shot on the floor of the CBO, Chicago Board Options Exchange, and the CBOT. And I gave people like you a behind the scenes look at what was going on in the options market, man. Guess where I was in 2008? At ground zero. The global financial crisis. I was at the VIX pit when it hit 95 or something like that, man. And then what happened? We didn't. The government did. George Bush failed, bailed out Wall Street. So I'd have to used to walk from Union Station, where I took the train in from Naperville, to the Board of Trade through crowds of rioters, Occupy Wall Street. I was there, man. We can talk about that some other time as well. I've written a couple books, From Sea Level to Sea Level, going from the cockpit to the trading pit. And then many of you know about this book, COVID Crash. Why? Because I turned a bunch of you into millionaires, turning panic into profit. December of 2019, January of 2020, I engaged in what is called outsider trading. What? Yeah. Do you remember all the senators and congressmen who left their classified briefings and went to microphones and said, everything's calm. That virus isn't coming here. Remain calm. And then grabbed their cell phone and called their brokers and their best friends and said, get out. Do you remember that? I do. Well, we investigated that 2 years later, and we find that, it was okay. Okay. They lied to you. Me, I did briefs. I was at Top Gun Options. I said, get out. Get long volatility buy puts on the S&P 500. It's the only level 4 lab in Wuhan, China. Something escaped and it's coming here. My buddy in the White House was like, dude, they're ripping up the highways around this city. The army is bringing in mobile crematoriums. Donald Trump in Davos, Switzerland. Joe Kiernan on CNBC interview. Wait, Mr. President, before you go, I have one last question. What's this China bug or flu? Dumb question, Joe. Nobody asked dumb questions worse than you. You're an idiot. Not coming here. I love Xi. Xi's a good dude. Great backswing. Been to Mar-a-Lago. You're an idiot. I looked into this camera and I said, he's lying. What happened? We made $2.5 million in about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. Read about it in a book. Men lie, trades don't. I got all the trades in there and everything like that. Okay, a little bit more about me and then we're going to get airborne. Exactly, Rick. When the government lies to you, it's politics. It's policy. When you lie to the government, it's a felony. Just ask General Flynn. The Max Afterburner podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast is ranked in the top 2.5% of podcasts on the planet. Well, how many are there? There's over 3 million podcasts. So make sure you check out our Max Afterburner podcast. And then obviously, this is my pride and joy, the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. The hell's that? During this 1 hour abbreviated brief, a veteran's going to take their life. They're going to check out. That's a mass shooting on a daily basis. Matter of fact, this weekend, my beautiful bride and I have a retreat down here in South Florida. We started our own fellowship, for lack of a better word, church, Sacred Warrior Fellowship. We use psychedelics as sacraments. Many of you know about my journey. It was the most spiritual experience of my existence. Sexually abused as a child, lost a sister to a drunk driver. Ain't no God. I was an altar boy, man. I was terrified of God. And then I got molested and my sister got killed by him. Until decades later, I realized that was not the case. How many of you know Marcus Luttrell, the lone survivor? That's Marcus Luttrell right there. That's Jared Taylor, JT from Black Rifle Coffee. That's JJ. He's a Top Gun Options member. I don't know if you're in here, JJ. He's another Navy SEAL badass. That's Robert Gallery, veteran football player, All-American from Iowa, played for the Raiders. This dude was dying. I rode in the car with him from San Diego to the clinic. Why, Whiz? Well, if you do what we did in San Diego, you're a felon. If you do it an hour south in Mexico, it'll save your life. He was dead. He is a new human being. The ibogaine, the medicine, the sacrament I sat with went in there and completely rewired his brain back together. Google Robert Gallery. He has started his own nonprofit to help NFL players who most likely have CTE. They don't know you have CTE until you die and they open up your grape. He's like, I absolutely had CTE and now I don't anymore. That's what I do, man. The No Fallen Heroes Foundation. So, Sacred Warrior Fellowship, our entheogenic church. We also, civilians welcome. I think we have 2-3 TGO members coming in our December retreat. If you would like to join us in ceremony here in South Florida, heal some trauma, be a better mom, dad, husband, wife, father, brother, daughter, sister, mom, whatever, shoot me an email, whiz@nofallenheroes.com. And we'll do our best to help you heal. Let me remind you, I'm a healer. Guess what healers don't do? Heal you. Healers don't heal, man. We can walk you on the path. We can show you the tools. Guess who the healer is? God. Can't help you heal. I can help you heal. Ultimately, it's between you and God. So let me know if you want to do something. All right. That's me. How long was that? That was close enough. 10 minutes. We're done. How do you know when a date with a fighter pilot is half over with? It's that point in the date where he looks lovingly at you and says, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm tired of talking about me. Why don't you talk about me? So we're done talking about me. Here we go. Why full throttle? Why now? Geopolitical uncertainty. The ceasefire in the Middle East that Trump was already demanding a Nobel Prize for is over with. I already knew that. You knew it was going to happen. It will never hold. These people have been killing each other for thousands and thousands of years. They're never going to stop. So Hamas didn't turn over more dead bodies and killed 2 IDF soldiers the other day. And the IDF said, okay, that's great, game on. And now it's all back on. Middle East, shithole. Iran, well, we're going to rebuild our nukes. India, Pakistan, Ukraine, man. I can't even stand this. Tomahawks, no tomahawks. World War III, no World War III. Geopolitical uncertainty is awful. Trade war with China. Ladies and gentlemen, I got this wrong. I thought back at the April lows, right? The market imploded. Trump announced his Liberation Day tariffs at the end of February, beginning of March, and the markets imploded. The bond market broke. What did Trump do? Oh boy. Treasury Secretary Bessent went into the Oval Office like, Mr. President, the bond market's broken. Markets are tanking. Give me my phone. I got beautiful trade deals for everybody. All my friends, China loves you, Japan, India, Modi, all trade deals. Did we? No, I don't think we got a single trade deal. And now it's back on. Week and a half ago, China said, yeah, all the rare earth minerals we have in this country, we're going to start sitting on them even tighter. Whoa, Trump, tweet, we're back in a trade war with China. So we got that going on. Real wars I already talked about. It's so interesting, like the Wall Street Journal over the weekend. Give Zelensky tomahawks, Mr. President. Even though he's threatened, if we do something like that, it'll be World War III. It hasn't been World War III yet, so let's do it. Oh, okay. So if we do that and Zelensky hits the Kremlin with some tomahawks and it turns into World War III, are we all going to be alive for the Wall Street Journal to go, oh, man, I guess we got it wrong, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, whether it's the Battle of Bull Run or First Manassas, depending on what side you're on, everybody thinks wars are going to be quick and the other side sucks and God is on our side. I always end every part of my strategic brief at Top Gun Options about Ukraine and Russia with, this is going to get worse. And I've been right every time. Interest rates, the Fed, Jerome Powell sucks. 40-year high inflation in 2022 under Mumbles McShitty Pants. The last time inflation was that high, my sister was alive. 9.1% inflation. That's what they reported. You all lived in 2022. Do you remember how 40-year high inflation? What did Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve Chairman, call it? Transitory. What did Mumbles call it? Transitory. What did Cackles call it? Transitory. What did Janet Yellen, the grandma, who was the previous Fed chief, who was the Treasury Secretary, team transitory? 2 years later, two of them apologized. Janet Yellen and Jerome Powell, like, yeah, we got that wrong. How do you you have 2 mandates, Chairman Powell, price stability, failure, and full employment, failure. How do you fail at the only 2 things you're responsible for and still keep your job? I think Donald Trump should have fired the Fed chairman a long time ago. However, here come the rate cuts. We already had a rate cut, and we're getting another one. It's this week, right? Or is it next week? Whenever the Fed meeting is, here comes another 25 points. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Fed is cutting rates into what? Rising inflation and crappy employment. It doesn't get any worse for the Federal Reserve. A crappy jobs market, a horrific jobs market. If you believe the last BLS numbers before the government shut down, we haven't got any current ones because the government's closed. It's a horror. If you believe the AI, Walmart, Accenture, all these white collar companies are laying off tens of thousands of not Amazon drivers or Uber Eats delivery people, white collar people making 200, 300 grand a year, gone. Jobs market sucks and inflation is sticky. Squeeze those together. I wouldn't even say stagnant jobs market, but the word is what? Stagflation. The Fed cutting rates in this environment historically has always led to an absolute train wreck, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think it's going to be any different. I saw a report yesterday. Let's celebrate. We are now $38 trillion in debt. Now, God bless Donald Trump, folks. What did he bring in last month? $200 billion in tariffs. He's actually talking about maybe sending a dividend check to America. The dude's at least, when in a hole, cease digging. The guy's actually bringing in cash with what's going on, but it doesn't matter, man. That's like it's a butterfly Band-Aid on a sucking chest wound. It's not. We're in trouble. We are in so much trouble, folks. But always remember this. The Hamptons crowd, Jamie Dimon, David Salmon, the DJ Goldman Sachs CEO, they all needed to go where? The market, up and to the right. We all know this, Whiz. Do we become Russia someday? Meaning we wake up and look at the Excel sheet and go, the math ain't mathin'. Just hit zero. Make that a zero and open a new. The dollar is not worth the paper it's printed on. And the full faith and credit of the United States government will be over with. So, ladies and gentlemen, we can't kick this can. And it's not even a can, folks. It's a dumpster and it's on fire. And obviously the government shutdown. Nobody cares except who? The troops and air traffic controllers. The Fox News, I had a Fox hit the other day about the ATC stuff. Today's hit is about the United plane that got hit with space debris or something like that. But folks, the air traffic, I love my air traffic controller brothers and sisters, but I got to be honest with you. According to the BLS, the average ATC salary and benefits is $150 a year. Are you kidding me? The average enlisted family is on 40% of enlisted families are on food stamps. We have military families on food stamps during regular times when they're getting their paycheck. So yay, it sucks for ATC and the TSA agents ain't getting paid, but when you're making mid six figures, folks, compared to the military, that's what I care about. So all of that might look pretty bad. So we are always going to be prepared. Right now is, and throughout this week, you're going to learn what I call a lot of whizisms. Here's a whizism for you. The market only cares when it cares. It don't care. It's starting to care a little bit. Wait, trade war and stuff like that. So we've peaked and we're starting to see some volatility, but really hasn't super cared. But when the market cares, it cares big time. Always remember this. Markets take the escalator up and the window down. Some people say the elevator. Usually it's the window, right? The higher we go, the harder we can fall, right? Only when the tide goes out do you discover who's been swimming naked, right? So, are we going to have the Fred Sanford? I hope it doesn't happen in our lifetime. Well, he ultimately had a Fred Sanford. So did my father. What's the Fred Sanford? The big one, right? This is the big one. I'm coming, Elizabeth. Every episode, Fred Sanford. I will be ready for the big one. Top Gun Options members will be ready for the big one. We've had many big ones. The COVID crash, the global financial crisis. Joe Biden had a bear market in 2022. The S&P 500 was down 25%, right? But all of those dips have been what? Buying opportunities. Let's just go, I can't believe I'm going to say this, since the turn of the century. Since the turn of the century, folks, look. Well, Whiz was an instructor pilot in a Marine squadron in Miramar, San Diego, right here. Oh boy, .com pop. All right, well then we recovered. Then what happened? Whiz was in the Board of Trade. Global financial crisis. Pop. And folks, let me remind you, right here, capitalism officially ended. What? If the United States government has to jump in to bail out capitalism, it's not capitalism. We're no better than China, folks. Ben Bernanke at the time, the Fed chief, man. So Barack Obama, they came up with words, man. Well, we can't have Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan like be in trouble. What? I don't give a shit. Well, Bear Stearns failed, and so did Lehman Brothers. Who gives a shit? Well, we can't have more of these big banks who donate a lot of money to us politicians fail. QE, quantitative easing. What's that mean? Well, it just means we're going to print money out of thin air and give it to Wall Street and the banks. That's great. So it all ended in 2008. That's why you see this. It's a hockey stick, right? Where's the scandemic? 20 right there. Same thing, ladies and gentlemen, right here at the COVID bottom. So I called the top almost to the day and made $2.5 million. Then what did I do? I called the bottom to the instant. Wow. Jerome Powell. It was a Thursday morning where we had the weekly jobs number, the weekly jobless claims was at 10 million. This was when my sister, the overachiever of the family, who runs Dune Capital, she was partners with Steve Mnuchin, who left Dune Capital to go be the Treasury Secretary. He said on TV, he's like, I think we're probably going to see 30 million next week. What? That day, ladies and gentlemen, Jerome Powell, just like a Fed chief in 2008, this COVID bottom, he dropped the biggest financial nuke known to man. And again, what happened? We never looked back, except Joe Biden's bear market right there. But again, what am I getting at here? Every one of these dips has been what? Buy it. I'm going to show you, since I'm really going to age myself here. I started trading at Key West Naval Air Station in 1991. That's how old I am and how long I've been doing this. Take a look at that. And I circle, look at the top right of the chart in the red where it says, oh my God, the meltdown. That was liberals and Democrats in February, March of this year doing what? Donald Trump's going to kill us all in a trade war. He's going to destroy the economy. Stocks are melting down. Take a look at that chart. What did they call them at the time? Oh, panicins. All the panicins. There's your overtime. One more time. This is setting me up, since we're doing an abbreviated session, for the bullish on America trade that we're going to do tomorrow. Why? Because dips will be bought until further notice. Buy the dip, 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 buy the dip. Oh my God, this is the only dip that you shouldn't buy because Donald Trump's doing it. Buy the dip. Have you not seen the market since April? My God, man. Where's the stock charts was having a problem this morning. Let's go see if it's refreshed by now. Well, I can show you my normal brokerage account. Yeah, what's going on here? Let's just go look. Look at the S&P 500, SPX, since April. Well, year to date. Look at this, folks. It hasn't looked back. So here's the, oh my God, Donald Trump's going to kill us all in a trade war. And here's the, I got trade deals with all my friends. He didn't, but look at so every dip will be bought. Okay. So there's a little bit of what I call commit criteria for our bullish on America trade. Okay. All right. So let me go back to my slides here. I don't know what's going on with stock charts. And here's what's funny, man. Trump cracks me up. Where's that slide? Not this slide. It's this one, I think. It's a great time to buy. So he was warned the bond market was breaking. He was warned stocks were imploding. I don't remember another president in my lifetime that cared so much about the stock market. He uses it as a barometer of his performance. Nothing like him tweeting and then coming out and saying, I have 90 trade deals for all my friends, and the market not looking back. Okay, so love him or hate him, that's what happened. Let's talk about a couple things real quick. I got to keep an eye on the time because I got to go do this Fox News hit. We'll go a little longer tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, folks. Again, I apologize. I reminded the Fox people, I'm like, if I was a paid contributor, I'd be able to move things around. But since I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart, you got to move around my schedule. So most of the folks who are due to Top Gun options don't have a trade plan. Does everybody have their trade plan? When you, let me do this. When you joined, registered for this event, you got your trade plan. Does everybody have it? If you don't, I'm going to give you it right now in the chat box because I'm going to go through this. I want to go through trade plan long. There you go. I just gave you the longer trade plan. Let me give you the one pager because that's like a good tactical 7-step. Where's the one pager? Blank. 7-step. Well, there it is. Blank. Everybody look in the chat box. It's so funny, man. When I started trading, ages, literally decades ago, people were like, combat trade plan blank. There you go. The guy on the stage would always be like, you must have a trade plan. And to be successful, you must trade with your trade plan. I'm like, awesome. What's yours? Next question. I'm like, wait, where's they're all bullshit. I've taken mine from the skies of Iraq to Wall Street. We're going to review this. We'll do it in depth the next 3 days. I'm going to step through my trade plan as we place each trade. Okay. So most retail traders don't have a trade plan or an SOP, standard operating procedure. We're going to do that this week. You don't manage risk. One more time, I'm going to remind you, you can't make money if you are losing money, ladies and gentlemen. You have got to manage risk. They buy high, they sell low, and they trade too large. Okay, so this week, anytime I show you a trade, I'm going to show you one contract, which is for everybody. I don't care if you're trading $100 in your account or $1 trillion in your account. I'm just going to show you one. Then I'll show you what I would do in my model portfolio based on 100 grand, not risking more than $5,000 per trade. But you have to come up with your own trade plan. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, 90% of trading is emotional. That's why pilots and other folks who are very check doctors, give me a checklist, man. This. If this happens, do this, right? You're the tick. You're the trader in command, but you need a trade plan to deviate from. It's when you don't have a plan, you don't look at it, that you start letting your emotions take over, right? So there's a newer version of stock charts. Let me click on that. Oh, when did that launch? That's pretty cool. Thank you for that, Rick. Cool. Awesome. Okay. Man, I talked too long about me, but let's power here. What do you need to trade successfully? How do you know what I need? Because I've been you. So you need these 3 things. Solid training. I didn't say education. I said training. Fighter pilots are trained. Doctors are trained. Plumbers are trained. Try plumbing. We take a building block approach. The world is full of educated derelicts. There is no such thing as financial education. There is financial training. So you're going to get access when you become a member to what we call Options Weapons School. 8 sessions. This is an option. This is the market. These are stocks all the way up to advanced tactics. You need a plan. I just gave you the trade plan. We're going to do it tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Strategy supported by tactics that manages risk. How about contingency planning? The time to know what you're going to do if a position moves against you is not when the position moves against you. You're going to see this week that before we place a trade, I do what? Here's what we're going to do. If this happens, here's what we're going to do if that happens. The time for me to figure out what I'm going to do if I get shot at by a surface air missile over Iran is not when that happens. It's in the ready room, in the air conditioning, sipping on my venti upside down caramel macchiato. You need to practically apply your training and your plan. How do we do that? In a live trade brief, in tomorrow, in Wednesday, in Thursday. I've been you folks. I've had these now what moments. Hey, I just read a whole chapter on what a call is. Now what do I do? Well, that's why you need to practically apply it in a trade plan. I went from being a self-taught retail trader before Al Gore invented the internet to managing director of a $2.5 billion Wall Street volatility arbitrage firm to CEO of a media company. Real quick, so you know what Top Gun Options looks like, On the left side of that Chinese wall is our training, Full Throttle and Solo Amazon. Real quick about brokerage firms, folks. If you trade somewhere or have an account right now, you need options approval, right? If you don't have it, call customer support after you get off this brief and say, hey, joining Top Gun Options, I need options approval. Get up to level 3. You don't need level 4, naked calls, puts, and stuff like that. You need options level 3. If they say, well, if you're just learning, we're not going to give you those options levels, tell them that's great. Now you can close my account and I'm going to E-Trade. Oh, hold on. Here's what, and again, I can't tell you what to do. I'm going to tell you what Joe Smith might do. Well, I'm leaving you and I'm going to go open an account somewhere else to trade options. When you fill out your application, they will ask you questions. How long have you been trading bonds? Never, and I don't care. How long have you been trading futures? Never, and I don't care. How long have you been trading stocks? Aha, 20 years, me, 34, 20 years, and I'm very experienced. How long have you been trading options? 20 years, very experienced. I like speculation. That's what I would do when you fill out an application for a new brokerage account, wink, wink. Because if you don't, you're not good. It's so stupid. How dare a government, $38 trillion in debt, tell me what I can do with my money? Or a brokerage firm. I'm learning how to trade options. I want level 3 approval. I'm going to leave it at that. So, because I was texting with somebody who's Schwab and this, and I'm like, well, they don't give you options approval. Tell them you're closing your account. I built Options House, folks. Trust me, customer service, they do not want to lose an account. They will bend over backwards. So always threaten to leave. Make sure they have what we call paper trading. It's the simulator building, folks. You need to be able to take a, do this stuff in the simulator building just like I did before I went flying, okay? Solo Amazon is our entry-level service, $97, $970 a year. We'll talk about that on Thursday. Full Throttle is what you're going to get the majority of the week of, okay? Now, if you're ready to actually put real capital at risk, we have 2 investment clubs. This week, you can get access to the Hunters, and then we have what is called our Lifetime, our Max Afterburner. Real quick for current members, listen to me. I'm going to give you a lifetime opportunity in about a week and a half. You're going to be able to donate to the Sacred Warrior Fellowship 100% of your lifetime membership. Why? We got to get the church airborne, and you're going to be blown away by why we need the funds. Well, I'll give you a little hint. We want to take 10 of the Camp Mystic survivors, the women, 10 of them want to potentially, always got to use the word potentially, heal with 5-MeO DMT through Sacred Warrior Fellowship. Many of you know Doc Martine from the Mission Within. I have a call with him later today. We're trying to do a big study, 5-MeO DMT, to heal these victims. Camp Mystic, Texas, the camp that got destroyed and all those kids got, oh, I don't even want to. So here's the deal. In about a week and a half, if you want to finally step up to lifetime, you're going to not, in the past, I'd say, hey, you can donate $5,000 to the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. This will be all of it to Sacred Warrior Fellowship, and it is a 508c1a, so it's 100% tax deductible, and you will be helping one of the 10 women. More to come on that. So anyway, those are our investment clubs. Under the training arm, man, again, get that simulator account, the paper trading, Solo Amazon, we'll talk about on Thursday, Full Throttle. You get 9 options weapon school training sessions, 9 of them from, man, I don't even know what a stock market is, all the way down to this is synthetic stock, okay? And then obviously the live trade briefs. That's what you need to succeed. If you're brand new to trading options, you know nothing about any of this stuff, folks, this is perfect for you, okay? Options weapon school, building block approach, session 1. This is where Whiz gathers his intelligence. These are the basics of investing in stocks and options. This is his trade plan, in-depth trade plan. The basics of calls and puts all the way down through. You're also going to get access to your Manuals. You need flight manuals, folks. These things are on my shelf over here. I go reread them every once in a while. Man, I need to brush up on my volatility. I go read these. These are going to be part of your options weapons school. And then obviously you have your live trade briefs. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. is the primary live trade brief. Wednesday is accelerated retirement at 10 a.m. Those are the full throttle briefs. Monday, technically, right now, you're technically sitting in a solo Amazon brief. I'm moving that to Thursday, though, okay? That's going to be Thursday of this week. I wanted to do 4 days of live trading and training, okay? Solo Amazon isn't part of the full throttle stuff. It's its own gateway service, okay? Does everybody understand that? Give me a vertical head nod. I'll hit that a couple times this week. When you join, you're going to get an app, Go Collab. That's the app you're going to download. You get all your trade alerts on here. Hell, you can watch your briefs on here. Everything's on here. This is the lifetime group. And then there's the hunters. Many of you will be able to join the hunters this week, and we'll be good to go. Thanks. I appreciate that. I'm looking at my watch right here. And this is actually the perfect place to stop. Look at me, man. I ended that at 10:45. Discipline, risk management, superior execution. This slide was my hint to talk about the trade plan, which we're going to do tomorrow. I wake up in the morning and I piss excellence. I make Ricky Bobby look like he's an idiot. So ladies, look at that, 10:45. All right, guys, I got to go. Again, my apologies. This is usually an hour and 15 minutes, the welcome aboard brief, but that was a good chunk of meat. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to dig into the trade plan. Oh, before I forget, if I have, they know me at Fox. I'm not going to be super late. I'm pretty good. And if you're bored, go turn on Fox right now and you can see my smiling mug. Go watch the bullish on America trade that I did. It's an 18-minute video. That's the last full throttle. It was 4 months ago, folks. You got to watch this. So instead of me going for the next 15 minutes to 30 minutes, you're going to go watch the bullish on America trade right now. So you're ready to go to tomorrow. There's the Tredge. Where is it? Bullish on America trade. That's 2 months ago. It's in here somewhere, folks. Let me just go to the home page here. Yeah, it was April. All right, let me just scroll. I'm going to scroll real quick, and then I got to go, man. Where is it? Whoops. 4 months ago. Because it just says it. It says it real big. Well, it's in here somewhere, man. Go to the YouTube page and go find it. It says bullish on America. America. How about I do that? Nah, whatever. All right, guys, I got to go. Regular Fox News. All right, I'm going to throw my blazer on. I'm going to be on Fox News. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. The replay will be posted on the replay page right here. Let me give it to you, and then I'm going to jump. I got to get going here. All right, guys, fights on. Namaste and basi basi. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.